My colleague, she looked at me and said, Raymond's okay with that? Giving away your baby? And I said, oh, no, 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 no.
After you gave birth to Cindy, what did you feel? Because you have been with Vance 10 months.
I was just really happy. It was almost like a moment of relief. There were no complications, no concerns throughout the pregnancy, but there's always a little bit of fear. In the back of your mind, anything can go wrong. So the moment that he was born and he looked well and everything was fine, I was just happy that he was placed in Cindy's arms.
And Cindy, what's in your mind when you first carry Vance in your arms?
When baby Vince let out that first cry, I was like, wow. This is even more magical than I had imagined. I was like, this is the best music to my ear. At that moment, I just felt like crying, knowing that so much love went into having him. In that delivery room, there are literally two families together, and also with the whole medical team, doctors and nurses running in and out. I just kept thinking that when he's old enough to see this, how touched he's gonna feel. You could hear that excitement from literally everyone, even though there have been lots of emotional roller coaster ups and downs, but in the end, it was all worth it.
Because Cindy had mentioned to me that for Vance, show us families like his extended family. About whether you want to contact with Vance, what did Choa think at the beginning when you decided to be the surrogate?
That's entirely up to Cindy because, again, I just wanted to help someone have a family, like extend their family, have a child, and that's it. Of course, it is a gift because Cindy does give me updates and Cindy has invited me to be a part of her life. She had chosen the other path, I would have been completely okay.
How did your friends or colleagues knew when you decided to be the surrogate, where you successfully gave birth of Vance? Did they support you or what did they say?
I was very open. For those who found out, they were just proud of me and excited that I was doing this for someone. Most of the feedback was very positive, very receptive. I did have some that would say, oh, good for you, but don't do it again. In their eyes, they're like, why would you do something like that? I have my reasons and I get where they're coming from too. Usually I'll say, that's why I'm the surrogate and you're not. I respect your belief, but this isn't your life. My colleague knows my husband and she looked at me and said, Raymond's okay with that? Giving away your baby? And I said, oh, no, 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 no. This baby is not related to me. This is their baby, their gene. Was taking a lot to always stop and explain and educate.
Question about the medical problems, because I know that in the process, the doctor has taught Cindy that she have to look for another surrogate because health condition in Choa's body. So I want to know, how did you feel at that time and how you two communicate and go through the process?
First part actually wasn't conveyed directly to Choa. It was sort of a hint, a very big hint from the doctor that he didn't believe the lining issues were easily resolvable. He said, we can certainly try, but it's probably not a bad idea to keep looking. One thing that I'm really proud of myself for during this journey is that I really did a lot of research. That collected wisdom shared by other people actually outweigh what the doctor's experiences. The lining issues were mainly because of the use of IUDs, and so many surrogates were able to overcome it. So my focus was to find out what people did to overcome it. I made a list of things based on their experiences. I went through this list with the doctor one by one. Some of the things he said, no, he couldn't accept that. Okay, we strike that out. He agreed to some part of it. We adjusted some protocols of the medication, and eventually it went well. It was actually not a medical issue with Choa's body, just that if you had used IUDs before, especially when it's hormonal, make your body respond to the medications differently. I didn't want to stress out Choa. I just told her, let's just try everything we could and give it the best shot next time, because I don't really know what the doctor would think after that.
Cindy did such a good job shielding me from what the doctor had hinted, because I didn't know about it until this whole complete journey had ended. I do appreciate that because I think it would have added a little bit more stress. My mom had 14 kids, so I had this belief in my head like, oh, we're baby makers. So I went in very confident. And then before it had even started, there was that hiccup of the lining issue, I just remember feeling so disappointed. My body is failing me. And I feel so bad for Cindy. She invested so much in me and I couldn't do this for her as I so confidently said that I could. I'm willing to try anything that might possibly help increase my lining. I'm really glad that it worked out in the end for us.
There are some voices in Taiwan that opposed surrogacy because they believe that surrogacy will take women as a machine of having babies and the commercialization of babies. I don't know whether you have the same voice in the United States. What's your opinion about it?
I understand where they are coming from. When you are uneducated about a topic, you are going to form an educated opinion. I don't mean it in a bad way, but that's just how our brain works. What people don't realize is the amount of research, preparation, screening that goes into the surrogacy process. And so for those of us who are serious, we're doing all of that research. Before I even thought about becoming a surrogate, I knew very, very minimal details about it. It's very important to educate, and it's very important for others to educate themselves before speaking out about it. One of those requirements to become a surrogate is to be financially stable. You have to have a steady flow of income and you can't be on government assistance. That requirement is put in place to prevent financially vulnerable women to be exploited. Along the way of my journey, I had to educate a lot of people, including my husband, including his parents, even my mom, and I had to educate myself. Again, unless you are really diving into the journey yourself, there's always going to be opinions out there about what they believe surrogacy is like.
Thank you, Chua and Cindy. On today's interview, I feel that you trust each other so much. And Cindy have said you feel matched with Chua at the very beginning. Do both of you do something else to build trust?
It was like what Chua was saying, love at first sight. I feel that trust already when I started talking to her. You could just know if someone has thought about this, has done her share of the researching, and is a reasonable and responsible person. I could easily sense that she has that passion in her, that when I ask a question, she wants to respond quickly to the best of her ability and availability. We keep responding to each other's energy that way. I don't know if it's so much what we did than whether we are compatible. When you have very similar values, everything is just so much easier. Yes, I did visit Chua in her home, but even without doing that, every time we messaged each other, I felt that the trust was established again. With the right match, it's really low effort.
I couldn't agree more with Cindy. The low effort, everything was just so easy with Cindy. I just felt a connect with her right off the bat when we first met. Everyone always asks, are you doing it for someone that you already know? And I said, she wasn't a friend then, but she's my friend now. She never made me feel like I couldn't come to her if I had any concerns when the pregnancy was confirmed. I appreciated that Cindy gave me space. I just felt that trust from her. Just trust me to make the best judgment. Again, I don't know how to explain it, but it's just art.
When it's the right person, you would know it. Before I head into this surrogacy journey, I had a lot of doubt. I had a lot of trust issues. I went into forums. I asked people, how can I be certain that my surrogate would not put my baby at risk? How would I know that she would not drink and smoke? Because if she does that, I would not know. But then when I talked to Chua, I just knew that she had the same values. She cared about the same things. All of my doubts just went away. Chua, do you have any questions for the reporter team?
I'm just wondering, is this the first time that you guys will be talking about surrogacy, or how long have you guys been discussing surrogacy in general? Like investigating or researching about the topic? When did this discussion start?
We have already done the investigative interview last year, but it was about the egg donation. We flew to Los Angeles and we have been to some clinic. We interviewed some doctors. We also knew about the issue about the surrogacy at the time. But last year, we didn't focus on surrogacy. And this year, because in Taiwan, we have a lot of discussion, we decided to focus on this issue this year.
Sounds good.
Anything else from the reporter team?
No, thank you, Shoa. Thank you, Dingy.
Feel free to reach out if you need anything else.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a good rest of your day.